Hello. How is everybody? Happy Valentine's Day. How's it going? Yeah, I'm like brave getting on here on Valentine's Day. What do you guys want to talk about today? Just remember, I'm the one that takes on the hard stuff. Well, I thought about taking on the hardest of the hearts. I'm one of these people that face my emotions. I don't run from them. I don't see them as weak. They're not weak. That's a lie. It's one of the biggest forces on the planet. And when we consider them weak, hello, what happens is we bottle them up. When we bottle them up, they tend to destroy us because we don't know the truth of them and how powerful they actually are. And actually what a blessing they are, all of them. Yeah, even pain. It's just a messenger. Do we get the message? Or do we ignore it because it's weak? Till it shows up in your life later as hate. It's all part of one big thing. Your emotions aren't weak. They're beautiful. They're just very misunderstood. So, me being a Gemini rising and a Cancer sun, I kind of see the world from both sides now. And I have a unique perspective. And from this unique perspective, I can see a lot of things that people don't because it's simple. I'm really simple. And I think a lot. I mean, Gemini air sign, come on. It's all about duality. So, I get on here and I try to empower people. Hey, lady. To understand their emotions and to understand themselves, because their emotions actually have a big part in programming your subconscious, and it's your subconscious that kicks your ass. I'm just telling the truth. Don't shoot the messenger. So, I kind of unpacked emotions, and I got a pretty solid perspective on them that people tend to find helpful, so I get on here and share them. And what better time to heal something as ugly as hate on a day full of love? Because they're actually both two very opposite forces, but they're the same effectiveness. As much as love can build, hate can destroy. True story. Both very transformative forces. And neither of them we understand. I am. And anybody that wants to come on camera with me, be happy to. There's a little button down there you can request. Shemia, how do you think CJ feels? If you're looking for some validation on how you feel from something outside of yourself instead of turning to spirit and the truth inside of you to tell you, I can tell you how he feels, but you know, you can, it's your situation, you can tell more. But I'm going to tell you he cares about you, but he doesn't want to rush. You know, so he's going to let you take the lead. And then he'll go from there. That way he can blame you too. So, you know, it's one of those situations. You decide how it's going to go. Anyway, yeah. Well, here's the thing. We do one of two things in this lifetime. We sit back and we allow the world to create who we're supposed to be by their ideas of what we're supposed to be. Or we let the beautiful thing, that part of eternity that's inside us, rule us, and it kind of creates the world instead of the world creating you. Yes, time for a change, 5:55. I love to see that. Now, I want to talk about something really, really near and dear to my heart, because the man I'm going to talk about, I'm a very innocent soul. I'm like a big kid, all right? I made a post about it. There's a picture of me. Happy Valentine's. There's a picture of me as a kid, and it's like, yeah, I'm still the same person. Look, I still have messy hair and bare feet, It's still me. And I still look at things as I did when I was a child. And in my journeys through this spiritual, emotional, mental realm of life, I ran into this man. And it was funny, I ran into him as I was, like, talking to some gang rappers. And I was kind of talking to them in their language, because if you talk their language, they understand you. But if you talk like my friend here, who wrote this book called Soul Lovers and Soul Makers, The Life of Abundance, he's a beautiful man. He was Christian. And he sent me this book that he wrote. That's him right there. His name's Joe. You can find him on Facebook under Joe Gerard. But we were two very different people. I was talking to this gang rapper in this group who was trying to, like, diss the spirit and ain't nothing else and blah, blah, blah. And, Joe was trying to talk to him as a doctor. Joe's a doctor. And if you get this book, I highly recommend it. It's very wordy, though. A rapper's going to take this book and he's going to go, eh. So I started spitting to him. I started rapping at him. And it had every fuck shit and go to hell you could think of in it. And Joe saw what I was doing. And, I was talking about hate, and I was talking how it's not, your hate isn't about me, it's about you, boo. Deal with yourself, kind of thing. And they were getting it. And he saw they were getting it. And a lot of people demonized me because of the way I talk. And I don't care if I'm talking to a doctor. Hi from South Carolina. Bless your heart for joining us. I just love you. I love the South, I do. Anyway, Joe is amazing. He was Sri Lankan. And he had, he has a beautiful way of looking at things. Also very innocent. If you get his book, you'll see. But anyway, he and I became very fast friends. And we just loved each other, in that innocent, beautiful type of thing. And something happened to Joe. I never thought I'd ever see hate take control of a man with so much love. But when the churches got bombed in Sri Lanka, where his family was, something changed in him. And we lost him 2 years later. So I've seen hate destroy people. And that's why I'm here today to talk about it. Because everybody says, you know, they've demonized it in such a way that if you're a true empath, you feel that. All right? You just do. You feel it. And everybody says, no, no, no. No, no, I don't have it in me. Because I don't know why. Because it's a lie. All right? We're humans. And if we're true healers, we're supposed to feel it. We're supposed to feel it so we can deal with it. But people won't even talk about it because it's so evil. And if they do feel it, they're treated like they're evil. And no, it's not a freaking stop sign. It's supposed to be a message. It's supposed to be a message. You're supposed to learn the wisdom of that emotion. It's not something that we're supposed to bury down deep in our soul so it can fester and eat us from the inside out. All right? Now, I had to process this recently because I've been through some shit in my life. I'm not going to lie. I'm still in some shit. I mean, there's just shit makers everywhere. If you're happy and you know it for no reason, they're going to want you to be miserable. And let me tell you something. If somebody is happy to keep you in survival mode, you know, yeah, probably not a good bet. Anyway, we lost Joe. But he's still with me. He's always with me. He'll always be with me. And I will honor him until the day I die. And one of the ways I do it is I tell people about his words. And I laughed. I said, you know, Joe, there is a chapter in your book for every emotional situation that you could probably get into, but you know what I would find emotional? That would be meeting an alien. There is not one chapter in your book about what to do if you meet little green men. And he just laughed. Oh my God. So we were unlikely friends. We were very unlikely friends. And, but we were the same person in a lot of ways. We just did things differently. And he was like, I wish I could do and be like you. And I said, well, you can be. No, 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 no. Because culture and all that, you know. But he said, you reach so many more people. And I said, that's because I can talk any language. Spirit is my twin flame, honey. It's like this, okay? If you put spirit first, anybody that does that as well, which everybody thinks, oh, if you put spirit first, you gotta walk on water, and you can't do this, and you can't do that, and you gotta, fuck them. No, if you put spirit first, you let go of the idea of control, of your desired outcomes, okay? You just let it go. And then you don't, like, you don't have a need of control. You see things for what they are. And anybody that's done the same thing understands that, you know, that's an equal for me. And everybody says, how do you know what you know? It's like, I don't know shit. It's what's inside me that knows. There's an eternity inside us all. You know the same shit. It's just I let it talk to me. I haven't let my emotions, like, kill me and kill it. And the truth of it, you know? And let me tell you something about that hate. We can't, like, heal it if we pretend it doesn't exist. If we pretend it doesn't exist in us, when we've all felt it. We've all felt it for something or another. To say it doesn't exist in it and to not deal with it is sticking your head in the sand. You don't really shut out the emotion, shut it off. You just realize that you are, and why do you want to shut off the emotion? I mean, you just have to understand it, and then it's not like you have to shut it off. It's, you understand where it's coming from. You understand what's driving it, and then you understand it has nothing to do with you, and you don't take it personal. It's not that you shut it off. Yeah, it does hurt. It does hurt. But you know what? Pain doesn't kill anyone. It's what your brain does with it that kills you. All right? Your brain has control of the physical. Your heart and soul, that's all has to do with the etherical. All right? And when those two meet and join and work together, that's where miracles come from. That's hemisync. That's point zero. That's nothing. Everybody's out there trying to be something. Fine, go do that. Once you're something, you're defined. That's what you are. Congratulations, here's your badge. You are now that. But when you're nothing, only from nothing do you have the possibility of becoming anything. It's undefined. So we run away from everybody making us feel like we're nothing when nothing is actually a superpower and people don't get it. Hello from North Carolina. I'd love to hear. I've got people all over the world and it's so exciting. Like I said, I have people I talk to in India. I have people I talk to in Iraq. I have people that I talk to in Turkey. I have people that I talk to in China. I have people. It's like everywhere. We're all the same human. Minnesota. I love Minnesota. Or used to. I loved it when Jesse the Body was the governor. He didn't take no shit, man. Arkansas. I used to spend every summer, a lot of summers in Arkansas. And Wisconsin, I lived in Wisconsin. Yeah, keep going. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. I loved Wisconsin. The first year I lived there, there was 109 inches of snow. I loved it. Oh my God, it was beautiful. Yeah. And here's the thing about hate. You know, I'm brave enough that somebody made the hateful. When you're a true empath and you deal with hateful people, you feel their hate. You can't help it. So what do you do with it? You push it down and let it eat you up? No. So I shared it. It's like, okay, I'm working my way down to contempt now because I ain't staying in this place. And then from contempt, you go to apathy. And then from apathy, you go to reason. You know, it's a step-by-step process. But it's not something that we can keep denying. Because look where we're at as a world. You know? And it can kill you eventually. And this light is gone. Because he couldn't deal with the truth of the hate. And even though it was a miracle, because his family was actually in one of those churches, sitting on one of those bombs that didn't go off. Just the only one that didn't go off. None of them got hurt. And I tried to keep telling him, I said, Joe, listen to what you're saying. You're focusing on the wrong thing. You're focusing on the tragedy and what they did. And I understand the loss of life, but you have to understand that you got a blessing. You got a blessing because of who you are and what you do. But he couldn't hold on to that blessing. And I couldn't make him change his mind. I tried everything I could. And we lost his soul. And it, you know, that's when I realized, even with the amazing, I have no power. I have no power. You're the one that has it. All I'm trying to do is help you grab it. Thank you guys for the gifts. Thank you. I'm sorry, this is like an emotional time, and when we lost him, we lost a true source of love. I mean, he used to give his time. There's a wild Mustang Island. That whole island is just for, like, horses. Nobody's allowed on it except for once a year, where they go and groom it and, you know, take care of the land to make sure the horses are supported. And the vets come in and they check the horses to make sure the herd. They try to leave it as serene. Yes. Here. And there's his name, Dr. Joe G. Yeah, I just called him Joe. And I don't know what his daughter is doing with any money from the book sales, but bless his heart, it's a beautiful book. So, because of who I am, even though we lost Joe's presence here, one of the ways that I honor him and to make sure he never really goes, because he's always right here. He's always right here as long as the people are right here. They're still alive because we keep them that way. That's the legacy. All right, that's the legacy he left. He left a big love inside of me that I'm happy to share with others. Yep. And that's how he still lives. And your grandparents and your parents, when you share the love of them, that's how they still live. That's their legacy. Yep. True story. So, one of the things that kill legacies is hate. And that's why we need to start dealing with it and facing it for what it is and the truth of it. And, you know, we're all human. And if you're truly an empath and a healer, you feel it. But I see so many of these empaths and healers like, no, I don't feel hate. No, I don't feel hate. Then you're not an empath. Because it's everywhere. Quit it. Quit putting on a mask. Alright? People need to take off the masks now. We're at point, like, wake the fuck up or go the fuck home. Seriously. Oh. I'm sorry, Benjamin. Well, the funerals are really for the living. I guarantee you the dead people aren't there. Unless they're just curious. I decided that death is going to be a grand adventure. And I'm going to, like, become a banshee for all these bad people. Like, if I were to die right now, I'd scare the shit out of Bill Gates. I would. Klaus Schwab, he's on my list. Oh, yeah. Why are you afraid to share it? Your block is you're afraid of pain. You know, and I eat pain for breakfast with my pancakes. It's like, it's another messenger, and people misunderstand it too. They see it as bad. But here's the truth of pain. It means you're a super love. That's the truth of it. It means that you're brave enough to love. Bravo. You're a fucking warrior, Heidi. Share that shit. And the more you share, the stronger you get. And yeah, you're going to feel it. Right now, the world's fucked up. But hey, vulnerability is one of our jobs. How are they going to learn love if people are too afraid to bring it? Yeah, I don't trust people either. But it doesn't matter. Well, I can't say that. I trust people until they give me a reason not to, because I have to. Well, hate and love are two different things. Pain is... okay, if you didn't love somebody, they couldn't hurt you. Pain is just a symptom of caring the right way. Alright? I mean, caring deeply. And instead of seeing that, you know, we see it as this horrible thing. No, you should wear it as a badge of honor. You showed up. You gave love. You got hurt. And then you showed up again, and you gave love, and you got hurt. What's that say about you, boo? Fuck them. Fuck them. They're the ones that lost out. They're the ones that didn't appreciate you. They're the ones that didn't understand. I understand. You know? When does the pain stop? when you understand it, when you understand that those people that gave it to you, they don't even know why they gave it to you. It wasn't even about you. It was about them. The only reason it's about you is because you took it personal. Honestly. Imposter syndrome. See, I hate labels. What do you mean imposter syndrome? Explain. I'm simple. I don't get it. I can talk about quantum physics, but don't when it comes to simple and yeah. It's like, I don't do syndromes. They piss me off. I know I've heard of it before, and I know I've heard it, but to me it's like something that probably was irrelevant because it's something that we claim for an excuse of something, of not doing something. Oh, I got this syndrome, so I can't. Oh, I got this disease, so I can't. And it's like, as long as you claim it, that's what you are. I always say that our life is a reflection of the truth of our divine connection. If you turn your back on God, the world will turn its back on you. Unless you're a true warrior, and then it's a little bit different because you were different from the time you were born. Yeah, well, I have my own thoughts on that. We're not worthy bullshit, because here's the way I see that. Who is anyone in a book that has to read a book to find God? Number one. I didn't do that. Gonna tell me that I'm not worthy when God already deemed me worthy when it put its little piece of itself inside of me and sent me to this world, knowing that I would have to forget him. Knowing what happens the instant that you're born and what you're going to be trained into. And with so much hope and so much faith in that little being. More faith than we have in ourselves. If you guys could see you through Spirit's eyes, through the Divine's eyes, it'd change your life in a minute. Just boom. It's like, it has more faith in us than we do in it. And it's the only thing that we come to this earth with. And it will never leave us, but we will turn our backs on it. When it's the first thing we should go to, and the first thing we should trust. But we've been taught to separate ourselves. They put God somewhere up in the sky instead of in the temple, where it belongs. And they say, oh no, you don't deserve it. Well, here's what I got to say to you people. You know, it's a book. You are worthy. Don't fall for that shit. And if you're not, and you feel unworthy, then you must be doing one of the things that piss off that spirit or whatever, and that's lying, cheating, stealing, or making a victim of the innocent. I don't care if the innocence is in a 65, 70, or a 25, or a 5-year-old. Innocence is innocence. Don't fuck with it. That is the only true divine magic that's found in this earth. It comes from that innocent perspective. And when you allow that innocence to become a victim, I don't care if it's to the world, your ideas, whatever. When that innocence is victimized, there's karma. There is. Call it what you will, karma, retribution, judgment, whatever. Whatever, it's all the same shit. However you look at it, it's all the same shit. You're just saying it different ways. Kind of like the rapper and the doctor. It's all the same shit. You feel it tugging at you, you're learning how to trust and surrender. Exactly, and that's all it's about. You know, I tell this story all the time. In 2014, I was in Florida. I'm from Missouri, by the way. I worked in Missouri as a travel agent. And I was taking a vacation in Florida with my husband. You know, free flights, crap like that. So we go to Florida. And the day came for the return flight. It was like June or July something 14th. You can look it up. And I got up that morning and I said, I'm not getting on that flight. My sister, my brother-in-law, all my nieces and nephews look at me and said, why? I said, I don't know. I'm not getting on that flight. You're crazy. You know, what the hell? You just don't want to leave Florida, which, you know, yeah, that's right. Who would want to leave Florida? It was fucking beautiful, and the seafood, oh my God, yeah. You know. So, anyway, no, that wasn't the case. I was told, don't get on that flight. I felt it to my bones. Don't get on that flight. So I called work and I said, okay, I'm not getting on that flight. And they said, why? I don't know. You're crazy. So all the people at work were like, you're crazy. What are you doing? You know, hey, I got 2 days PTO. I can drive from Florida to fucking Missouri in 24 hours. No problem. I'm going to book a car tomorrow and I'll be there. So that night we were eating pizza in a restaurant and the news was on and there was a total blackout on the northeastern to the, it was like the top quarter of the United States. And where we were supposed to get a connecting flight was blacked out. And the planes were up in the air. They were trying to redirect flights. The planes were almost running out of gas. It was ugly. And as everybody was sitting there eating pizza, well, they weren't eating very much. They were all sitting there with their mouth open going, watching the news. And I was going, maybe that's why. So it's like, you know, I don't question it. I can't tell you why. I don't care to tell you why. If I knew why, I would know. But I don't question what I do know and what I don't. I just say it. Because it's not me. So, yeah. That's what I was like. And I ate my pizza and everybody was just like in shock. And then I got back to work and everybody was like, how did you know? What? And then they said, oh, it must be some terrorist attack. And I was like, oh, God, don't let the FBI and the CIA be up my ass. Because I didn't know what it was, you know. That didn't happen. Thank goodness. Thank you. Thank you, Jesus. You know. So, I just knew I didn't want to get on that plane. And I wasn't getting on that plane. And I didn't get on that plane. And I've been grateful ever since then. And now when I have that feeling, I just trust it. I follow it. So, you know, and that's the same thing I do, like I said, when I met Joe. Here he's this wordy, holy, perfect person, and I'm this, you know, messy-haired little girl with bare feet, and doesn't mind spitting or drive trucks, work on my own car, can drive a bulldozer, you know, what the hell ever I need to do. I'm not defined. That's that 0 point. I just like being nuttin' because from nuttin', I can be whatever I want to be when I need to be it. That's the way I see it, so don't think I'm something. Do me a favor. Make me nothing. I like it there. Seems like a good bet. I'll take it for 200. Okay, so anybody want to come on and talk about anything? Hello? Is anybody in there? Oh, there's 11 people here, I guess. 10 people now. Hi, Becky. Welcome. So what do you think, Heidi? Hi, Aaron. I don't know who's listening or if it's reaching anybody. Y'all ain't talking much. That's what Coffee Talk's supposed to be about. You know, you're supposed to talk to me too. I'm going to be doing readings at 9 on YouTube. Oh, thank you, Aaron. So you've been listening? Oh, you're welcome, Valerie. I mean, we all have stories. I'd like to hear yours too. Do you see people's aura? Yeah, if I'm supposed to. I mean, it's just about unfocusing. It's nothing big. As a matter of fact, my aura picture is on my Facebook profile. There's a great big angel standing behind me. Yep. And the guy I make jewelry. I do. I make malas for prayer beads. So, he made me take off all the jewelry that I made. And I still have, when you look at my aura picture, my whole chest is lit up green. And I'm like, guess what? My heart chakra's open. Yeah. Well, we all learn to trust our inner voice, and that's what I have co-creation station for, guys. Okay, because we're all learning to listen to that inner voice, and it's like a place where you can go on and ask your questions, like what's on your mind, what's bothering you. You can ask your questions in there, and we're all intuitive, we're all psychic, we're all like trying to get back our little voice inside of us so that it creates our world instead of the world creating us. And Co-Creation Station on Facebook, CO-Creation Station. It's like you can post an anonymous question, like if you're feeling this way or if you're feeling that way or need advice this way or that way. And us all being intuitives, we're able to hone in, like, let's say I put up a picture and it's like I'm feeling this way and feeling that way, and like 5 different people give me 5 different things and one of them's not quite on. It's my job to say, yeah, that's right, and that's a little bit, to be honest, because that's actually how we tune in on that voice. No, you should see what else your feelings on this might mean, because with this story, you're not quite getting the picture, but you're starting to tune in, close but not quite. That's how we tune in. That's how we learn. Because everybody's little voice is different, just as different as we are. Mine's a smartass. It just is. It's funny. All right, my little voice is funny as hell. Yep. And I am on YouTube, Authentically Alice on YouTube. As a matter of fact, I just hit 1,000 followers. But YouTube is fucking with my watch hours, because when you get like 3,000 watch hours, they have to pay you. And I got 896 just in the last month alone. And they're trying to say I only have 1,700 watch hours. They're so full of shit. But awesome, Heidi. I'll go in and say hello. And I'm trying to bring my Facebook family and my TikTok family and my YouTube family together. Because there's a lot of, you guys have a lot of fucking amazing energy. You don't even know. You don't even know. And when we come together as a group, instead of being in competition with each other, because everybody thinks, oh, she's so amazing on it, and it's not about me. No. All right, here's the thing that you ought to know. When you see somebody amazing, when you look at somebody and you know they're amazing, you just know it. How do you know it? How do you recognize it? Here's something that you need to realize about yourself. The amazing you see in other people that you think you lack, the only reason you recognize it is because it actually exists in you, but you're fucking afraid to use it. Hello? Sorry, simple truth. I'm not afraid. I don't live in fear. Fear don't live here. I might be wrong. I might be right. I'm not afraid of being wrong. And actually, I wish people would prove me wrong, because I've been making predictions for 15 years. And so far, every one of them's come true. And I haven't liked any of them. And the only way that the predictions are going to change is if we change. Because we're going to have to change the end result, honestly. And the only way we're going to do that is to come together as humanity. And that's just the truth. So that means we're going to have to sit down and find all those places where we are all the same, which is that divine truth inside of us, which is a simple truth. It's simple. Alright? If it's not true for every man, woman, and child on the planet, it is not a divine truth. End of story. Thank you, Valerie. Why did they hide that? Seriously, I mean, TikTok is even bad. So if we go to that place where we're all the same, and we start loving each other there first, because we will. Simple truth is like beautiful. Then we won't fear each other's differences. We'll learn to accept, embrace, and understand them. Kind of like, you know, our emotions. We have to get down to the simple truth of them, and the simple truth of pain and anger is you wouldn't have it if you weren't such a love. True story. If you didn't have that love, you wouldn't care to be upset. You wouldn't care to be in pain. I mean, you wouldn't be in pain. You know? We gotta get a solid hold on our emotions and quit judging ourselves for being brave. Honestly. If you've been through pain, that means you've been brave enough to love. And bravo, I love you for it. Because that's what we need in this world. Regardless of the pain. It means you're a soldier. You're a warrior. For the right reasons. That's why they can't break you. You may feel broken, but it's only temporary. You can't unpack and live there. Your spirit won't let you. You're going to find a way to make it okay. You're going to find a way to make it stronger. You're going to make sure you don't do that again. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. You know, I'm just going to say, one of the things that drive us is pain, anger, misunderstanding, smile of 1,000 angels. We all have that ability, and if your stepbrother would have understood that, he'd probably still be here. And I'm sorry that, you know, we're incapable of helping them see that they are worthy. But everything happens for a reason, and life and death happens in divine timing, not in ours. So, bless his soul. That's a hard thing to accept. And usually it's the real feeling ones that don't understand themselves, that, or psychic, or empaths, or all these amazing people. We lose them too early just because they don't understand how amazing they are. Same thing with my friend Joe here. We were just talking about that. So, yeah, this book was written by an amazing man. And one of my best friends. One of the best people I'll ever meet. And I actually never met him in person. Seriously. We were talking about because he volunteered at that island of Mustangs. And, we talked about, because I love horses. I love horses. Well, why wouldn't I talk to you about that? Smile of 1,000 angels? I mean, it's something that it's something that takes process. I mean, that's such a shock. It's not something just get over right away, and I feel the heaviness of it. Because I've known so many people that have actually, I've lost many. I'm tired of losing people. I really am. But I know I showed up and tried my best for every one of them. And life and death happens in God's timing. If they weren't supposed to leave when that happened, they'd still be here. I do know that. God, spirit, the universe, whatever you want to call it. A lot of people consider the universe like God, but when I talk about the universe, that's the spirit realm. That's the messenger realm. It's finite. God is not. So when I talk about the universe, I talk about the smart asses. That's where they come from. You know, my spirit guides, they're all smart asses. I swear George Carlin's one of them. And Irma Bombeck. Talk about two sides. You know, I call my perspective of those two beings Captain Obvious. Yeah, it's funny. But there's times I cuss at the universe. It's like, what the fuck? And everybody's like, oh, it's gonna kick your ass. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. I'm talking to the universe. I'm talking to the spirit guides. I'm talking to the angels. They're like interdimensional beings. It's not God, okay? They're finite, just like we are. They are created from that eternal intelligence. They're just a hell of a lot lighter than we are, less dense, bigger understanding, okay? I'm not gonna lie to them. They already know. Why am I gonna sit here and act so pious and oh, please forgive this and please forgive that, and when what I'm feeling is kick their motherfucking ass, you know? I'm not gonna sit there and lie to spirit. I'm just gonna tell them I know this is my ego and you know better, but hey, you're my best friend, so what the fuck, you know? What the fuck, universe? Oh, yes. Thank you, chasing dreams. We all are. We all are. And let me tell you what, you'll get more support and understanding from that beautiful voice that is inside you. I actually had to see the wisdom in death when I was very young because I lost my mother when I was 4. And there was a lot of different ones around that were young when I was a little bit older. Like my nephew passed at 5 years old. And that was hard because my nephews are like my babies, my nephews and nieces. And we only had him for five years. He was almost 5, barely. He was an amazing kid. All right. He was born a hydrocephalic. And they said he was going to be retarded, and they said he was going to be this, and he isn't going to live past this, and man, that kid beat all the odds. He was the most amazing child. Oh, he could sit down and sing every word of Ebony and Ivory, and he was like, you know, oh, no. Let me explain something. I felt that way. It broke my heart, and I was angry, and that's one of the time, like, how can this be fair? You know, I was mad at God. I was mad. And then I was like, oh, no, I can't live from here. I need to find some grace. And the kid beat all the odds, and he actually taught me so much in the 5 years, more than any adult on this earth, even Joe. This child taught me so much about life and death. He learned every word to Ebony and Ivory, you know that song? Because there was a lot of I lived in a little white town, let's say. There wasn't any black people, and there was a black kid that came in, and it caused some ruckus in the kindergarten class, let's say. Yeah. And one of Brian's favorite songs was Ebony and Ivory, because he didn't understand why people felt that way, just because, he kind of felt the way I was. He was like, they're so beautiful, And he learned every word to that song, and he would sing it all the time. He was just such a blessing. So, by the time of his funeral, I had written a poem called 5 Years of Sunshine. And I learned that every being on this earth is a gift. Hate speech. No, I didn't do hate speech. That was news. Oh, because I said something, yeah, we're facing the emotion of hate, so they're saying, oh, this is hate speech. Oh, whatever. So thanks for the report, whoever did that. I've got my haters out there. I do. They're trying to cause trouble. It's probably one of my exes. Or, I don't know. Could be anyone. It's never the ones that you don't know that do this, let me tell you. And this is why hate comes up. People do stuff like that. So I had to, learn to get a different idea on people and how long, even though he was here for only 5 years. I was so blessed in that 5 years. And that's the truth. And so now, no matter what time I spend with people, I consider it a blessing. You're listening while you do your makeup. Well, they might kick me off for hate speech. Apparently, I'm a hateful. Well, thank you for coming, Smile of 1,000 Angels. And I do hope you find peace and understand that your stepbrother, yeah, his body may not be, but his legacy lies right here in you, okay? As long as you remember him and honor him, he'll always be a part of our world. True story. Cat's going crazy. Thank you for coming, and thank you for telling us your story and sharing your pain. We have big shoulders. Hello, hello, Nix. Welcome, welcome. And that's what we're supposed to do with each other. We're supposed to support each other. We're not in competition. Competition is a spirit of separation. Where there's a winner, there has to be a loser. And anybody that's willing to make a loser, I'm going to step back from. Oh, you want to play a game? I knock over the queen. You win, now what? You want to play games? Yeah. That's the way I deal with it. Now what you got? So anybody want to come on and tell their story? Talk about what's going on in their life on Valentine's Day? At 9 p.m., I'm going to be going live on YouTube for live readings where I actually pull out my cards and I do readings. I don't actually need the cards. I can do readings anyway without them, but I don't know, they're fun. Anybody have any questions? Authentically Alice, yes. It's not the 3:30, just Authentically Alice. And it's same on Facebook. The Yaya. I like that. I like that movie, The Yaya Sisterhood. That was a good movie. I do readings on Facebook at 9 p.m., Jackie. Right now we're doing coffee talks where we sit around and we talk to each other. We talk to each other about what's going on in life and what we're having to handle, and you know, try to get different perspective on old problems that may help us through our day. It's okay. I also do readings, like if you need to get in touch with me on AuthenticallyAlice on Facebook, hit me up on hit me up in the inbox, and I'll be happy to give you a reading. Yep, I do that. Oh, thank you so much, Tara. Thank you, thank you. Tell us about my gifts. Well, okay. I don't define it. This is the way that I see it. If there's a clear in the air when I need it, it'll come to me. So I don't really define it. I see things, I hear things, I feel things, I know things, I taste things, I smell things sometimes. It's whatever happens. I'm just in the moment and aware of everything that I'm getting during that connection because it's all a message. So, that's the best way. I just get the fuck out of the way and my brain and let my, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I just feel. I just feel it. Sometimes I see it. Sometimes the feelings give me. Gee, okay, when I see things, it's like this. You know how you can see the still of a movie that you've seen before, and you know that movie, so you can see the whole movie in your head just from that one picture? That's what it's like. Oh, thank you, Smile of 1,000 Angels. Thank you. Yeah, that's what it's like. I mean, trying to find it is simple. It's just simple. Get your ego out of the way, get your ideas of what you have to be for everybody else out of the way, and just bring what you get. Good, bad, or indifferent, you know, it doesn't matter. You just got to bring what you get. And as long as you do that, and don't do it like, I gotta make money, I gotta do this. Okay, I'm not a pimp of spirit. I don't do this to make money, I do it out of love. If people have money and they want to share it, I don't get mad at them for donating. Usually I sell products, but for some reason after 6 months my products are still sitting. This is my main job, is getting out here and talking to people and trying to empower them to understand themselves and how much they are worthy. I don't know, Jamie. This is a coffee talk. I'll be doing readings on YouTube at 9 p.m. tonight. This is where we sit and we talk to each other. What's your feeling? See, this is where I tell you, you don't need me. The fact that you're out here looking for a third-party source in your situation. What's wrong with you, girl? But at 9 p.m., if you want the answer to that question, I'll be happy to talk to you. I'll tell you the truth of what I get, but I'll tell you I don't tell the future, because you change your mind, you change your timeline. I'll tell you what could happen if the mind sets now. Feeling like someone's suffocating, the paralysis. Yeah. A lot of people have that, and a lot of times, yeah, I am funny. A lot of times that paralysis after waking up is caused by your brain. A lot of times, if you're a spiritual person, it is during that time between waking up and going to sleep and coming from sleep into waking up, there's this little window of opportunity where shit can get at you. I woke up with this thing on me. I mean, I was paralyzed. I couldn't do anything but move my eyes. Yeah, I get the terrifying. It was actually the day my grandmother died too. And I woke up and I couldn't move. Yeah. And the first thing I did was thought about spirit. And as soon as I thought about spirit, it was done. You know, it's like, you're not supposed to be here. Type thing. It's like, get off me, bitch. And it's like, that's what I thought. Because it's like, I'm God's child and you can't do this to me. And then it was gone. Yeah. Well, see, that's what I mean. If you saw my Facebook page and saw my aura picture, I don't even think about needing protection because I already know I'm protected. And if you look at my aura picture on my personal Facebook page, you'll see the 7-foot angel standing behind me with a crown of stars and the big wings. And yep, true story. And it isn't like I'm special or anything, because I'm not. I'm simple. I'm a simple high school graduate that slept through fucking high school, and it's not like I'm incredibly intelligent. It's just that I understand one thing. Once energy, I mean, I listen a little bit in physics. It said once energy is created, it can't be uncreated. It only changes. And then my head said back then even, well, that means that every bit of energy that is, was, or ever will be has already been. And then I heard this thing about, you know, quantum entanglement and then atomic memory. And it's like, ching, ching. Okay, wait a minute. Every atom in our body means that it's always been and it's eternal. And imagine how many things it could have been in eternity. And it has a memory of everything it's been. Just one little atom. I call it atomic memory, this quantum entanglement. It's easier to explain, so. This one little atom has all that memory of eternity, of everything it's ever been, and we have 3 trillion of them in our body, at least. How fucking smart you think you are? Huh? Or have the ability to be. I ain't no different than you. You ain't no different than me. It's the truth. You're amazing. We were made that way. We were packed full of all kinds of good shit. We just gotta get back to it. Aw, thank you. Thank you. Less crazy. Honey, listen to me, okay? It's a crazy world out there. Crazy world. Insane. So, when the world calls you crazy, consider the source. Okay? That's the way I see about it. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I like it. Yeah, it's just the way it is. Like I said, you know, haters gonna hate. Let them hate. It's their own problem. It's not yours. Don't take it personally. Like somebody reported me for hate speech because we were actually literally talking about what hate can do to you. And how we lose amazing people because of it. So, TikTok, somebody reported me for hate speech. Oh, you're welcome. I mean, I'm no different than anybody else, like I said. I'm just real about it. And people are too busy worrying about what people think to be real. And that ain't me. Fuck that. I ain't wearing a mask for nobody. And it's about time that we all took them off and we all felt comfortable at taking them off. You know, we're human. We feel. It doesn't make you less than. It actually makes you more than when you have the ability to be authentic in it. And nobody is. They all want to pretend. They all want to pretend they're this or that while they're all running around living in fear and living in this. Oh, I gotta protect myself. Well, guess what? If you gotta protect yourself, and you feel you gotta protect yourself, then you're living in the spirit of fear. Fear, it vibrates at about 100 megahertz. And desire vibrates about 125. You know, that I want that everybody's running around doing and that everybody thinks is a good thing. I want this, I want that, da da da. Well, it vibrates just above fear. And you know what's even above all that I want shit? True story. Anger. Being angry is a higher vibration than desire. Yet we all love desire and we demonize anger. Why do you think that is? Think it could be programming? And how we've been trained to see emotions and judge each other by their emotions. And when I ain't here to judge you, I'm here to tell you the truth. What you do with it is, like, up to you. You judge yourself. I mean, I've already done my judging for me. But I do have a right to judge how you affect me. True story. And I will hold you accountable for what you bring to my table. So I am kind. I am nice. And for me to stay kind and nice, I don't let people abuse me. Because they're abusive. Everybody says, oh, hurt people, hurt people. No, I'm a hurt people. I only want to help people because I've been hurt. That's such bullshit. Let me tell you who abused people. Alright? Let me tell you who hurts people. Abusers hurt people. Yeah. Assholes hurt people. Hurt people don't hurt people. They love people. And this is how we're programmed to mess with, you know, destroy our own, really. That's what we do. We destroy our own. Instead of supporting them, instead of fanning their flames, you know, we have to take them down. We have to take them down. If they're better than me, we have to take them down. First of all, nobody's better than you until you think they are. Pearl, there's only one thing that the elite is afraid of, and that's the laws of karma. All right? That's the only thing. That's why they tell you what they're going to do before they do it. So, the fact that you have to ask that question at all, what do you think is going to be? I mean, it's like this. Yeah, you're envious. Okay. Worry about your karma, not theirs. That's envy. That's, you know, let's settle your soul. Don't worry about them. What you do comes back to you. 100% of the time, the truth of you will come back to you. There is. There's enough for everyone. But there'll never be enough for the 1%. So if we come together, that's their biggest fear. Yes, good and bad. Exactly. And see, we judge good and bad in the wrong ways. We've been programmed to judge good and bad, like what's good is bad and what's bad is good. And it's like, wait a minute. Yes. That's the rule of energy. It's just a rule of energy. You know? Well, but it will be because karma splash is real. If you keep hanging around somebody that you want to change for your own reasons, and they're not supposed to be changing for you, and they got karma coming and you refuse to let go, you're going to take on some of that karma just because you're there and you refuse to let go. Beauty in the darkness. I don't think I've seen that. But there is beauty in the darkness. If you think about it, darkness was here before the light. And darkness was upon the face of the deep. And God said, let there be light. The truth is, everybody thinks that the darkness and the emptiness is empty, but there is so many layers of reality out there that holds everything together. Ooh, yeah, it'd blow your mind. Your friend Ross thinks I'm cute. Well, he's probably cute too. Not in a movie, just in life. Well, it's like this. There's two eternal knowledges. Yes, I am single. There is two eternal knowledges, okay, that have been, always will be, and one is dark and one is light. Two eternal knowledges. True story. True eternal, well, I call them consciousness. The dark, I would consider it the building blocks of anything physical. It's a lower vibration, a denser vibration than the light. Simple, all right? They have to maintain their purity to be one half of creation, but they don't fight with each other. They work together. They don't judge each other. They need each other for creation to happen. Just like the darkness and the light. That's why I always say, you know, I love Native American folklore, but they fucking up on that feeding the two wolves thing. Okay? Because if you have two wolves inside you, that means that they're all a part of you. Why are you starving half yourself? Why are you hating on half of yourself? Why aren't you feeding it, learning the wisdom of it, and having a pack mentality? You make those wolves happy, they're going to protect your ass. That's the way I see that story. And you have to know which wolf to, you just trust it. Yeah. A lot of us are, and a lot of us is like, they say, what makes you feel like you're so right? And it's like, I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but, it either resonates with people or it doesn't. And the ones it resonates with, obviously I'm talking to something inside of them. So, I'm not here to be right or wrong. I don't give a fuck. I'm just here to try and understand, to try to help understanding happen so that we can come together as one humanity and kick the ass of the 1%, Call it whatever you want. Get them under control, because they're the ones that need to be controlled, not us. Honestly. And, we have the power to do that. There's only 9 billion of us compared to what? Maybe 500,000 of them? I mean, this is easy, guys. Come on. This is easy. We don't have to put up with their shit. Throw them in jail. Looks like the farmers are taking their stand, though. Bless the farmers. But there's so much of this lifetime that's controlled and people don't understand it. Like, there's so much, this planet's been here for, 6 billion years, 4 billion years? I don't know, long freaking time. Long freaking time. How much of total history has been totally lost? We don't know. We know that our DNA has been on this planet for 200,000 years thanks to Greg Braden. Boy, you want to unpack some truth? That man can unpack some truth on energy and how it relates to how we create our world. Go look him up on YouTube. It's GregGbraden. Greg Braden. He'll tell you some shit. And it's funny, he came out like during this guy. I've been talking about this shit for years. And before me, people were talking about it. And before that, people were talking about it because it's just part of who we are, truthfully. You can't lose that knowledge. It's eternal, and we're all a part of that eternal force. So, why are you sorry? Anybody that wants to come on camera with me, more than welcome to. I'm not gonna bite. I might nibble. You will? You want to come on, Heidi? All right. You gotta go put a request down there, I think. Hang on. I don't know if I can or not. I can't find you in here. Down at the bottom, there should be a request to join the line. There you are. Okay. You found it. All right. Heidi's gonna come join us. We have a brave soul. I love it. Are you there?
Am I here?
Yeah.
Can you see me?
Not yet. Turn on your camera.
Okay. I'm pushing on it.
Do you have 1,000 followers?
No.
Oh, that's why.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah, it's TikTok. What do you want?
Oh, TikTok.
But we can hear you, lovely. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you,
How are you
Alice. It's
today?
nice to be here. I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm awesome.
That's great. Thank you for having me. This is new. I've never done this before, so bear
Well,
with me.
I'm all about new. I think we need some new up in here because all this old shit isn't working anymore.
Well, this is what I was talking about earlier, about wanting to start my own TikTok. I do have one. I'm a photographer and I have some photography on my TikTok, but I'm at a place where I don't know what my purpose is and what I'm supposed to share.
Yeah.
Like I've been through a lot of shit in my life, as we all have.
Yeah.
And I feel like the things that I've been through in my life is what I should be sharing because I've come a tremendous way in the last 10 years for sure.
Yeah.
I'm 52 now and I've been a hardcore drug user, alcoholic, you name it. I've done it and been there and I am completely sober and I feel like I just have all this stuff I need to share and I feel like the longer I keep it in,
Yeah.
the
The more it's
more
going to eat you up.
and it is, and that's what I feel. I feel like there is a real amount of suffering going on because of holding my truth back. If that
Christina
makes sense.
says, congratulations on your sobriety. Yeah, it takes a lot
Thank
to
you,
do that,
Christina.
and it's a fight that you have every single day.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
there's
Yep.
times when you're going to fall back into that mindset when you have a hard time, and the fact that you haven't says a lot about you. But here's the thing I noticed, because that's kind of like my sister's and my brother's story. I never fell in that trap. I played in the minors as far as drugs and alcohol and stuff like that goes, but it was never for me. So, I guess I didn't process trauma the same way that most people do. So I didn't take it on as my own. which a lot of people do that. Either that or they have gifts that they don't understand about themselves. Like they spend their life seeing things that are really weird, and they're like, oh, isn't that a coincidence? Instead of understanding, no, it's not a coincidence. It's who you are,
Right.
or people who, um, are feelers, the empaths, my lovely empaths out there. Oh my goodness. A lot of them don't understand that, they could be having a great day and then all of a sudden they walk into a house and they're angry.
Yeah, I'm very much so in that category. Um,
So they start talking to doctors about this and they put them on a pill and call them bipolar instead of making them understand, no, if you're fine, that's you and that's you on a regular, and suddenly you go somewhere and you instantly feel different, you're picking up on somebody else's emotions. It's not even about you.
right.
Again, the natural part of us is balanced and happy, and, that's nature.
And
Balanced and happy and
and
healthy.
what do you think is a good course of action for an empath to protect themselves? Going forward for me, that's one of the things I'm trying to learn right now. I've become quite the introvert because
Because
of
you've accepted that. See, with every energy, there's also the opposite energy because we live in so if we live in a duality, all right? So if you can soak up that energy, guess what? You can also project it,
okay.
okay? So when I walk into a room and I feel a certain way, and you really have to use discernment with this power because you can project some bullshit if you're not careful. Um, But if I feel somebody that feels a certain way, there's times I'll go in there and just they need their ass kicked because what they're actually feeling is and they're doing is projecting bullshit onto other people. Because they too don't understand their power. Like if you're out there fear mongering instead of empowering, bringing your fears of here's protection, the idea of protection. Um, if you feel like you need protection, you do. And the reason why we feel like we need protection is we don't understand our capabilities. So
Right.
if you can feel it, you can also change it. Do you understand?
Yeah, I do. I'm wondering how to do that. I've thought about, like wearing black and
Well,
having
I
crystal.
wear a lot of blacks. I mean, most of the time I'm in black, and that's actually why preachers wear it is because of protection. But
Right.
um, yeah,
And I think I just, when I do leave the house lately, I've been trying to just set the intention that, I am protected with the white light and, things like that. I mean, it is
well,
helping.
you have too a host of spirit guides and angels, and
Oh,
they're bending over backwards, waiting for a word from us so that they can actually interact in our lives. So,
so that's the thing.
anytime that I feel like I need protection, Michael's my go-to.
Okay.
Hey, Michael, come walk with me, brother. And
Yeah,
that's
I
the
have
way I see the angels and the spirits as brothers and sisters as well. You know,
right.
they're
I
all a
have
part of us.
three. I have three spirits that I work with, spirit
Yeah.
guides, and I mean, without fail, I mean, anytime I'm in a space of needing guidance and I'm just like, hey, I'm not getting the feedback where I understand, I'll sit with my spirit guides and say, hey, I need give it to me in layman's terms, so to speak, because I'm struggling here trying to get the message. And I can tell you within 3 hours, I get the message.
Right. And it's usually when you are not thinking about it. It's
Yeah,
just like,
exactly.
oh, there it is, because you get out of your own way.
Yep, you have
Literally,
to.
you get out of your own way, you get busy, think about something else. You're not as stressed over whatever you're, struggling with. That's a sign right there. If you're struggling with it, that's your blockage.
Yeah, and that's a big thing that I've learned real recently too, is to let go of the attachments, to just
Yes.
ask and just get out of the way and just know and have the faith that I will receive. And it's working. It's helping quite a bit actually.
Yep. That's what everybody says. How are you so amazing? I'm not. It's what's inside of me that is. I just get the fuck out of the way and let it be and trust what I feel and trust what I see and trust it. And that's what comes out of me. I'm just a mouthpiece. What's inside me is what's amazing, you know?
Right. We talked about that imposter syndrome earlier, and I'm doing a course right now online. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of Victor Odo and Aaron Doty.
No.
These guys, they're real big influence influencers, spiritual and stuff, and I they come from a business side of it too,
Yeah.
which is really cool. You can find any one of those guys on YouTube. Oh, they talk about the 1%, or at least the Aaron Doty does. And it's kind of fun because I watched him. I've been following him since he started.
Yeah.
And he went selling women's
Thank
shoes
you, Christina.
to, he got messages from his spirit guides and just his higher self that, he needs to start getting on YouTube and telling his story.
Hmm.
And he started doing that in 2017, and now he's super huge on YouTube.
Yeah.
And um
See, he probably didn't piss off YouTube and Google and Facebook like I have, though, because I tell too much truth. And I saw
well,
them for what they were a long time ago, so I've been calling them out for ages.
he's
So
he's
I am
very
so shadow banned on social media that I wouldn't get out at all if it wasn't for people who happen to catch me and start listening and start talking with me. And it's like, yeah, you need to get out there. And it's like, do I?
yeah, right.
So,
Yeah, he's very careful of what he says, but he's really starting in the last couple of years since COVID that he's really getting into the esoteric stuff. And
I'm
which
not even careful about what I say.
Yeah. And I think he is, because that's his job, that's his income, I think he has to be.
Well, see, I have a problem making spirit my income because it makes me feel like I'm pimping spirit. So I sell soaps and candles
Yeah.
and body stuff, and that's what I try to do for money. But I had a shake up here not too long ago, and most of my products are I'm not able to get at. So I accept donations for what I do, but it's not about money. I will never make this about money. That
That's
I do
awesome.
know. But other people do, and that's on them. I hope. But I've seen Sylvia Brown do that. I've seen Daniel Brinkley do that. I've seen a lot of people do that, and then they kind of lose their gifts.
Right.
And I don't ever want that to happen because if I ever lost spirit, it would kill me.
I
So
agree. That's
it
there's
would
a
literally
fine
kill me.
line, definitely. There is a fine line there, I do believe.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, the biggest donation I've ever gotten was $450,
Hmm.
and the littlest I gotten was $1. And then the person that gave me the dollar, it wasn't like a insult. It was almost like all they had. So I ended up sending them back five, you know?
Sure.
So I don't know. Money to me, it's an energy like anything else. It's a flow. And if we have a hard time like letting go of the idea of it, then we have a hard time bringing it in.
Right.
And I just live in gratitude that I have everything that I need.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
Important.
And
And
anything over that is like abundance, and I see it for what it is.
sure. So
But
you said you're going on Facebook Live here soon?
Yeah, in about an hour and a half, so I'm gonna have to shut this down now. But I come on doing coffee talks. I also do yes and no tarot on here.
Hmm.
Um, and the way that I do it is I get quite a list because I do full readings. So and I'm not done until Spirit says I'm done with that person.
Right.
So, huh?
That's awesome. I would love to. I've dabbled in tarot, but I've never gotten the gumption up to do readings, so I figured it wasn't my time.
Well, what I do on those is I make the list, and if anybody wants to make a small donation, again, I don't care if it's $1, $10, or whatever, then it gives me a reason to pop them to the top of the list, so they get to skip the line.
Right.
That's about the only thing that really happens with donations. They're gonna get the same reading no matter what, because it ain't about me.
That's awesome. And you're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Actually, I just started my Instagram under Authentically Alice. I've had my Facebook personal account since 2013 because my kids had to talk me into going on it. I absolutely refused. I thought it was evil. Still think it's evil. But um, my name on it is Alice Burbaugh.
Okay.
And if you go on Authentically Alice, you'll see my post. It has a orange looking picture on there. That's my aura picture. That's where you'll see the angel standing behind me. And the thing about it is, I think they showed up in my picture not because I'm special or anything, because we all have our angels, but
Hmm.
it's because I claim them, you know?
Yes.
They were allowed to be there because I claimed them so heavily. And they were just, it's kind of like proof. Like, see, they do exist. And where's yours? Oh, wait, you put them way over here and you don't remember. You don't call on them. They love to hear their names. You don't call on them. You don't use them. You don't give them the ability to work in your life because you set them over here somewhere, kind of like we do God. We put him over here somewhere, or put him up in the sky instead of putting him where he belongs, which is right here in our temple. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, I know. That's the thing, where people when they're hitting a rough spot, they want to lean on God, or Sundays for appearances they go to church. And
Mm.
I just never felt right about that whole thing at
The
all.
Mississippi Squirrel Revival, one of my favorite songs.
Oh, yeah.
Have you heard it?
Yep.
Yeah, I love that song. Oh, Miss Bertha, better than you, sitting down front in the amen pew.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, okay, Bertha, you're better than me. Fine. There you go. Here's your badge. Sit down.
Well, I think I'm going to start doing a TikTok here and, sharing those gifts and getting myself out there.
Absolutely. You
And
see, and this is the thing that I would like people to understand, okay? Everybody, like, I've seen some psychics shut me down on their live feed because I start talking.
uh-huh.
And because I just say what I say, I don't do readings for money. It's not my way. They shut me down because I'm a threat to them.
Right.
And it's like, I'm not in competition with you, you know?
Yeah, when I first came across your TikTok here, you were doing readings actually,
Yeah,
and I was taken back a little bit that you were just, doing free readings, which I thought was very noble of you
yeah.
to do that.
Who am I to
And I
stop
mean,
if you have a message coming from spirit, and let me tell you, everybody has messages coming from spirit. Spirit is bending over backwards to reach us.
right.
It is. And who am I to stand in the way of that? For money? No. I'll tell
Hmm.
you what. People, you think people can hurt you? People hit like a bitch. Have you ever had a freaking psychic bitch slap? Those psychic bitch slaps? Oh no, you don't. That's a whole new level of ow.
Well, I
So
kind of feel like I'm kind of in the midst of that right now just because I'm not sharing.
yes, they'll do that. They'll do that.
Yeah, I feel like, there's something definitely pushing me.
And
Um,
I push so many other psychics too. It's like, oh my God, that's amazing reader and da 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 da. And it's like, people do I see a divine spark, and what people do with it, that's up to them.
mhm.
And it's up to them and the divine to decide whether they're doing bad or they're doing. I'm just saying, for me, I can't pimp spirit. I
Hey,
can't.
Alex.
I can't stop somebody from. I can't shut my mouth over money to somebody who comes to me needing that support. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I wanted to ask you though, Patsy here in the chat.
Yeah.
She has a question of how do you find out who your angels are?
Honey, they're all your angels. You don't have to find out who, but there's certain ones that are assigned to your birthday, your astro. You can find angels for anything. What do you want one for? They're out there.
Yeah, you have them. I mean, if you need
They're
to
all there for us.
put an identity on them, you can give them names, or you can ask them, and you may get it in a meditation, maybe,
Yeah.
or something.
I mean, I've always my three go to, because I'm a healer, I'm a warrior, and I'm also very balanced when it comes to the idea of justice. Like, I'm not a doormat. I'm very balanced. Don't make a victim of anything that shows up with their heart and innocent, you know. If you do that, I become that warrior. If you make a victim of somebody that shows up there with only the best intent in their heart, I'll become a warrior for that person. When
Yeah,
they can't. It's like, you say it's none of my business. That's my brother, that's my sister, okay? What you do to them, you do to me. So it is my business. I don't care if it's a stranger over there. I'm the same way with children. I don't care if it's my kid or not, it's my kid. If I see you abusing a child, you're going to have to deal with me. That's just all there is to it.
yeah.
And don't
Hey,
tell me it's none of my business. There's a divine intelligence in that child that is very precious, and you're fucking with it. That's not okay. Just
hey,
like there is, I don't care how old we are, there's a certain amount of innocence that we all have within us. And when we learn to love and trust and bring that innocence to the table, we can change this world. That's where divine magic comes from, you know?
for sure. Hey,
Yeah.
Patsy, I see your question in the chat there about you saying that you're a doormat. You know, I used to think that about myself. I don't think you're a doormat. You're an empath.
Yeah.
Um, those are two different things, and
But
you
see, as
give.
an empath, we've been forced upon with this doormat mentality from the spiritual community
Oh
to
yeah,
always take the high road and not stand up for yourself. If you stand up for yourself, then you're the problem, which is a crock of shit.
no, it's you have to stand in your truth, and
Yes, and you have to stand up for yourself too. You don't let yourself be abused. You're precious too.
but I think sometimes, like we all get there in our own divine timing, right? Like I think some of us get there, fairly quickly through lessons that we learn, and
Yeah.
then others, like I've gone through some shit for 20 years when it's like now I look back on it in retrospect and it's like I could have got that like way back, like at least 10, 15 years ago,
Yeah.
now that I know what I know.
Yeah,
But
but here's the thing about that. If you were supposed to know, you would have known. And everybody
that's
says,
true.
"Oh, I'm this psychic, I'm this amazing empath. Why didn't I feel or see this coming?" Because if you would have felt or seen that coming, you wouldn't have showed up, which obviously it was the divine plan that you show up, or else you would have known not to. So
Yeah,
why are you questioning why? If you were supposed to have known, you would have.
right.
But so we are supposed to go in there and we are supposed to get hurt for a bigger reason than ourselves. And here's the thing, what you carry inside you is so precious, that love. If you show up with that love, to people who have never known it, now they don't have an excuse to be an asshole because now they know that love. That pops them up to a different level of karma
Right.
because now they see it and they're still denying it. So some of us have to go in there because, if we exist, that means they have no excuse. If we exist, the good people, like, you told your story, you did all that stuff. I never really did all that stuff. So, because I always had like this, even as a child, I had a huge respect for my temple and my sanity and my spirit. And it's just something that stuck with me. So I've wiggled a little here, wiggled a little there, like I said. I've never became a drug addict or a drunk or any of that. It just never stuck, even though that I've done them. It was very short amount of times for whatever reason.
Right.
Because I'm human. I had to try.
Sure.
It just wasn't for me. But a lot of people get stuck in those cycles and then they kick themselves in the ass and they don't want to deal with it, the things that they've done to the people after they're even sober. Like my sister is
Yeah.
like that, and she quit doing drugs, but she still got that druggy mind. She won't
Yeah.
deal or apologize. She didn't do her 12 steps. She didn't make any amends for all the stuff that she did when she was a druggie. Um, Not even said there, I'm sorry. And she even still to this day changes the story of what actually happened while she was on drugs to make it everybody else's fault. So she still hasn't done, she still hasn't dealt with what she caused. And
Right.
she's in that way, she's still victimizing people with her addiction. But that's narcissistic. She had a narcissistic addiction, and that will drive you to drugs as well. Does that make
Yes.
sense?
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
And I see like Patsy's in the chat here. She's like, she gives and gives and gets nothing in return. So, what I would like to say to
That's
Patsy,
enabling.
right, what I would like to say to her is, Patsy, I think it's time for you to think about giving to yourself and being selfish for a change. Um, and if you do give, it's because you want to, not because you feel like you have to.
Yeah.
And to give without expectation is huge too. That's something that I had to learn, because once you can step away and get to that point where you can give without expectation, it changes the game. It really does.
When you understand that you give, I mean, you'll feel it. If you feel like it's going to hurt to give, then you're not supposed to be giving. But
Correct.
if you know that you give and anything that you give for the right reasons comes back to you, that's all energy. It's the same thing with money. This is why people have money blocks, because if they don't follow their when they're supposed to give and when they don't, and then they enable the wrong people, give a man a fish and he eats for a day, but you teach him how to fish and he eats for a lifetime. That's the difference between enabling and empowering. If you give and give and give and get and never get anything back, not even, appreciation, then you should understand that you're probably enabling people. Those are people who are just there to get. And what you
Hmm.
want to find is the people that you empower, because then they're actually going to build with you.
Right. Yeah.
So I think it's all about discernment of where we're giving and to whom.
Sure.
Because those people will always be back with their hand out.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Um, Patsy's asking me if I did the steps to quit. To be honest, Patsy, I did not. I did not join. I did not go to rehab. I did not do the steps.
My sister was forced into it because she went to jail.
Yeah, I I was not only an addict, I was an enabler to an addict. So I didn't actually go to AA. I went to Al Anon actually, because when I was a drug user and an alcoholic, um, I didn't think I had a problem because I wasn't as bad as the person I was using with. Okay. And
Oh, good.
because I wasn't as bad as that person, I felt like, I had it under control, everything like that. So I went to Al-Anon, which Al-Anon is very similar to Alcoholics Anonymous. Um, so
Isn't Al-Anon less preachy though?
I would say it's really along the same lines.
I just
Preachy. I don't know if I mean there's a lot of you know finding out what your part in the whole situation is because every addict there is an enabler for sure,
yeah.
and with that I would say runs strong with that enabling is being a codependent, which I was.
Yeah, and that's where all addictions come from is codependency, some kind of codependency.
Sure. And I always had, not only was I the wounded bird, but I looked for the wounded
Oh,
birds.
thank you,
And I
Susan.
felt like, if I could fix somebody, then in some way through that fixing of somebody else, I could fix myself.
Yourself. And that actually happens. But see, the thing about it is that you have to take your own advice. And that's the hardest thing for a healer because when I first started healing my narcissistic abuse, CPTSD stuff, um, I got a lot of the same type of people, which was exactly like me. And I found myself giving people advice that I had to take myself, otherwise I'd be a hypocrite.
Right.
So in those ways, it does kind of heal you. But that's after you step out of the lifestyle, you
Yeah. And
know?
what I found out, Alice, is I found out, I mean, excuse my language, but I had to get real fucking real with myself. At the end of the day, I had to sit with myself because I had a dark night of the soul. I've had a few now
Oh
in my
yeah.
recovery. But that's just par for the course. But anyway, it's about
It's a
getting,
transformative thing, isn't it?
yes, it's about getting real with yourself and asking yourself the ugly questions. I mean,
Yep.
if you can't be honest with yourself, then
You may as well sit down and shut up because you ain't. Yeah.
yeah, correct. I mean, I had to tell, I found out, I found out my guilt, my shame, all the ugly parts. That's what I referred to earlier is when
Mhm.
I finally seen the beauty in the dark and
Yes.
was able to give myself grace and
Yes.
just be like,
But you
hey,
can't give yourself grace if you don't face it.
exactly right. And it was the hardest and loneliest thing. I'm still an introvert currently right now. I'm lonely. I haven't been in a relationship in 10 years. Come July, it'll be 10 years since I've even held a guy's hand. Um, I have a good support group. My kids, I have two children, a male and female, and
Kids are
they
awesome. Kids are awesome.
they I mean we've grown and learned together, and they are awesome. And I'm an adoptee, so I have abandonment wounds right off the
Miniatures.
get.
Yeah. Okay.
Not knowing where I belong, but whatever. But yeah, I know you have to get going, and I appreciate your time and letting me join your coffee talk here,
You
Alice. That was
guys, absolutely. That's what I actually created this channel for, so we can all get on here and support each other and understand that, we're all going through the same kind of things at the same time for a reason. This is how we find our tribe.
yeah.
So,
Had some 30 years and you want out, it's time to get out. You can do it.
yeah, exactly.
You can do it. You don't need to stay in any place that you do not feel safe or welcome.
If there's a will, there's a way. You will
Yep.
find a way. And that's just the truth of humanity. If there's a will, there's a way.
I got out of a 23-year marriage. Literally walked out one day with my kids in tow when they were tiny.
Yep.
And he told me, he's like, I will kill these kids and kill myself, and you will live life alone. So
Yeah,
it's
that's it's
scary.
fake.
It can be totally scary, but you find your support group and you just keep walking.
Yep. And most of the time they just say that because they're little scared little twits trying to scare you.
Right.
But some people are actually dangerous. That's why I always had a sidearm. Just the way it is.
Yeah.
Because you think you're coming after me and my kids, you got another thing coming.
Yeah, there's a way that, you can build up a support group and, kind of make a plan and start working in that direction. And I think Patsy's ready.
Yeah.
And I'm rooting for you, Patsy. I hope you are able to do just that because your life
Patsy,
will
you
change.
should have hit her up on, or me or her up on, in, or wherever. Where are we?
Absolutely.
TikTok.
Yes.
Yeah, you can hit us up. I'll talk to you about it, and because I kind of went through that getting out of a narcissistic relationship too. So not too long ago, as a matter of fact, I slept with a 9 millimeter. That's how bad mine was. There are truly vile, evil people in this world, and I slept with a 9 millimeter under my freaking pillow to make sure got away from him.
Right.
And let's say some people are not that bad, to where you don't have to do that. He tried literally to keep me in a state of terror. Um, Now I don't. So,
Right.
but yeah, there's certain, you have to decide. Okay, you definitely have to decide your situation in the best way. Sometimes you got to go deep cover, depending on
That's
who you're dealing with.
that's
So,
right. And, we're not afraid of the unknown.
hmm
We're afraid of losing the known.
yeah, but sometimes the known is what you got to lose so you can get rid get rid of what no longer serves you, so what will serve you can come in.
Yeah. Yeah, mental abuse is no joke. That's what mine was. I never
Mental,
was.
emotional, physical, no abuse is okay. None.
No abuse is okay. Absolutely right.
All right, guys. I gotta get off here because I got about an hour and I gotta like woo-saw a little bit before I go into readings. But
All right, my lady, it's been a
yes,
pleasure.
you guys make a community. That's what we're here to do. Talk to each other, love each other, support each other. Let's do this. Let's change this dynamic. And we can only do it together. Okay? Love you
Yes,
guys.
absolutely. Much love.
Bye.
Bye bye.